Well, hello everyone. How are you all? Hopefully you're doing well. So we're going to be starting into 3.1, an uncertain future. Hey Goosey, how's Goosey? Ow! Alphino wishes to share the latest developments in the search for the missing scions. Fortuitous timing as always, Satoru was about to brief me on the search for our missing comrades. If you would be so kind then. Absolutely pleased to hear that Riol and his men have been making excellent progress. Remember how helped me escape the Crystal Braves and Limsa Mensa only to then disappear? Well, according to Riol, she crept aboard a ship bound for Radzat Han, where she's been hiding ever since. He assures me that it won't be long before we're reunited. As for Ida and Papalmo, the remains of their link pearls have been found, and in Pearl Lane of all places. Riol thinks they might have disposed of them after escaping from the Royal Promenade. Yes, that makes sense. That could not they could not risk being eavesdropped upon by our betrayers. We're all but certain they fled the city shortly after, though we still don't have a clue where they went. Pomegranate, where? I don't have any pomegranate. I didn't say anything about pomegranate. I see, and what of Thancred and Menphelia? I'm afraid I have nothing new to share about those two, but it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is we've enlisted the services of a Charlian scholar, one of the students of Baldesion, to aid in the search, who should be arriving any day now. One of the students, you say? I should very much like to meet this scholar if time permits. But first we must attend to a more pressing matter. Sir Imeric has summoned the two of us for a private audience. The messenger did not specify what he wished to discuss, only that it was urgent. So you have no objections, I suggest we proceed to the congregation forthwith. And mayhap we can meet the scholar afterwards. Agreed? Sure, I guess. In that case, I think I'll return to the Forgotten Knight for now. Things are liable to fall apart if I'm gone too long, you know? To be honest, I never even had pomegranate. Now, maybe you got pomegranate out of Papolimo? Which is a character's name? Maybe, I guess? That's my best guess of what you... The Lord Commander is within. Pray proceed, miss.
Thank you for coming. I wish to speak with you both in a place where privacy was assured.
We quite understand. What was it that you wished to discuss?
With my father's passing, the seat of the Archbishop lies vacant. And so, in accordance with canon law, I have assumed his responsibilities.
Come on. Come on.
I should stress that this is a temporary measure. It was never intended that the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights serve in this capacity indefinitely. Quite the opposite. The statutes specify that I should surrender my powers as soon as a conclave of the senior clergy and the high houses have named a new archbishop. But in light of recent events, that would not seem appropriate.
I confess I did not expect you to divulge quite so much quite so soon. The details of the Archbishop's plans, perhaps, but the true origin of the war and all it entails?
I too had concerns. But when the Warrior of Light is witnessed returning to the capital upon the back of a dragon, one's options are rather limited.
Well, we didn't give you much of a choice there, now did we?
Mayhap I could have concealed certain details, but for how long? And at what risk? Should the truth have come to light in the meantime, how would the people have viewed my silence? After 1,000 years of lies and secrecy,
Hey!
I could not well abuse their trust and hope to be believed. The time for
Why are you
deception
picking me so
has
much?
passed.
What did I do
I
to
only wish
deserve
the
that?
people agreed. That some would deny the truth I had anticipated, but not this many. And among the few who acknowledged that my father had to be stopped, no small number question our methods.
Well, I mean, it is in my list of things to eventually play. I mean, you can always spend the points and request it.
If they suspect a coup, it will not be long before some turn to violence.
It has already begun, and that on both sides. Men and women of the cloth are being harassed in the streets. Some have even been assaulted in the Broom. Hilda and her people have formed a watch to help us maintain order, but such measures will not prevent the unrest from spreading.
For all our talk of peace, the people remain frightened and confused. For their sake, we must bring the Dragonsong War to a definitive end.
And we should be glad to help you, Sir Emmerich. But what precisely would you have us do?
We wish to treat with the dragons of Annex Trine. To that end, I would trouble you for an escort and an introduction.
Annex Trine? You would speak with Vidofnir then?
We must needs open a dialogue between our peoples. Acting as my representative, Lucia will extend an invitation to their leader, that she might visit us here in Ishgard. Were she still with us, I would of course have beseeched Isel's assistance in this matter. But as she is not, I must ask that you aid us in her stead. Will you do us this favor?
I'm not going to kill all the dragons. That'd be speciesist. Friendly dragons are fine.
Thank you, my friends. Lucia, I leave the rest to you.
In the wake of the Archbishop's fall, the nation of Ishgard trembled, the faith of her people shaken to its very core. For 1,000 years had they fought and died, certain of the justice of their cause, only to be
Well,
told
that's
that their
fine
holy
to punish
war
the
was
one
born of
dragon
the
who
sins
stole
of
your
their
sourdough bread.
forefathers.
But not an entire species.
What then for those brave men and women, thus stripped of their righteousness but to despair, to deny the truth and decry its speakers?
Nah, I can't
And
condone
what
that.
then for those whom they defamed but to hope on, to have faith in a brighter tomorrow? A tomorrow in which man and dragon might live together in harmony, then as distant as the very stars in the heavens. Yet while we dared to hope, deep within his lair the enemy lay, gathering his strength. Nidhogg, now possessed of his 2 eyes and the body of the Azure Dragoon, prizes to which he had laid claim at the very hour of the hero's triumph. As desperately as we sought the solace of peace, the great worm craved the misery of war. Nor was he alone in his misbegotten desire.
See, now Nidhogg, he might be one who might still steal your sourdough bread, and, well, of course, for if he did such a thing, we will punish said dragon, but not all of them. I know little of the lands of these dragons call home, this annexed shrine. Had you not agreed to escort me, the coming journey would seem a far more daunting prospect. I confess, I myself once shuddered at the thought of it, yet even the longest journey begins with the first step, does it not? Ah, but ere we set forth, I must needs inform our comrade of our plans. Very well, I shall see to my preparations. Well, let's go and bid farewell to Tataru. Well, hopefully we certainly will. So, what was your secret meeting all about? I'm all ears. Go get your wiffle ball bat, be right back. A diplomatic mission to annex Shrine, you say? Well, I suppose that does take precedence. But should your meeting with Wodofnir happen to end early, you might consider rendezvousing with the Chola in Idleshire. She'll be there to receive our guest. Don't get me wrong, your meeting with the dragons is terribly important and everything, but this scholar just happens to be... Time permitting, as I said, we shall endeavor to join Ishtola, but if we cannot, pray pass on our regards. Let us be off. We have kept our first commander waiting long enough. You are ready then. Good, so am I. Alphino is ready to escort Lucia to Annex Shrine. The path is long but known to us. From Falcon's Nest we shall cross the Western Highlands and make for Tailfeather in the Javanian Forelands. There we can stop to rest and replenish our supplies. Questions? If not, then the stables await. I always imagined that the first time I set foot upon Travanian soil would be at the head of an army, and here I am ready to treat with the brothers and sisters of mine enemies. But well do I know how difficult it can be to set aside the past. Though it was I who first proposed recruiting Isael to our cause, I questioned the wisdom of my words almost as soon as I had uttered them. And for a long time after that, here was a woman with the blood of innocence on her hands, men, women, children, all slain in the name of the implacable Lady Iceheart. Yet she acknowledged her misdeeds and agreed to join us in common cause. At our side, she fought in service to that greater good, even until her dying breath, and while that does not absolve her of her sins, I hope that one day she will be remembered not merely as a heretic, but as a misguided soul who dreamt of peace. Why is your wiffle ball bat on top of the fridge? You can't get it? Well, as long as you don't hit my headset or my camera, I will go get your wiffle ball bat. I need to get a drink out of the fridge anyways. You ask much, Master Alphino, yet who can say what might come to pass should our negotiations bear fruit? Yes, of course, we must press on to Annex Shrine if you will follow me. There you go, Goosey. It's off the fridge. Some rum and some SodaStream Coke. Well, I'm not a geese, I'm a fox. The illusion fox. Explorer of worlds and mysteries. Solver of puzzles. I don't know what that emote's supposed to mean, but okay. Though I did a Google search for goose fox and found a couple of pictures that are really kind of interesting. Ow! What did I do to get picked this time? Just a moment here, sorry. Need to go up. There, I posted one of the interesting pictures in my Discord, Goosey. If anyone's not in my Discord. Thou art ever welcome here, friend of a sail. But this one I do not know. Pray forgive us this unannounced visit, Vidofnir. May I present to you Lucia, first commander of the Temple Knights of Ishgard and our trusted friend. It is an honor to meet you, Vidofnir. I am come as an envoy of Sir Americ, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights and acting leader of the Holy See. Indeed, you may speak, knight. For 1,000 years, man and dragon have been locked in an endless cycle of bloodshed and sorrow. To our shame, we long believed you were kin to be the architects of this war, but now we know the truth, that King Thoradin and his Knights 12 did willfully betray and murder the great worm Ratatoskr, shattering the peace between our peoples. For 1,000 years, our leaders conspired to conceal this truth, a truth which was at last laid bare by the Warrior of Light, the Azure Dragoon, and Isael. Alas, a deception so intricately wrought cannot be undone in a moment, and our people labor to accept the truth. After an eternity of war, who would dare to dream that peace could at last be within our grasp? Yet dream we must, as Isael once did, and we must make that dream a reality as she could not. We humbly beseech you, Vidofnir, join hands with us in friendship once more, before the eyes of my people in Ishgard. A most unexpected invitation. I have heard your request, knight, however I cannot yet give you mine answer. May I ask why? This matter concerneth my sire, he must needs be consulted. Moreover, the Nath grow bold even as they did before, and I would not leave my people at the mercy of the swarm. Then we will wait. After 1,000 years at war, we shall not give up on peace for want of patience. Ah, fear not, knight. Thou shalt have mine answer within thy lifetime. So soon, my humble thanks. I shall bear your words to my lord forthwith until we meet again. Given the circumstances, I'd say that went rather well. To be frank, I'm surprised the proposal was not rejected outright. Whether aught will come of it remains to be seen, however. Maybe I should take this opportunity to speak with some of the other dragons. Ah, but you need not wait for me. The return journey holds no fear for me now. Well, if you have no further need of our services, we should continue on to Charlian. We hope to welcome a scholar who has agreed to aid us in the search for our missing comrades. Then I pray your journey is as swift and uneventful as ours was, and thank you again for sparing the time to assist us. Even when such grave matters remain unresolved. I can think of no graver matter than a 1,000-year war, one which our friends gave their lives to see ended. Suffice to say, I would willingly make 1,000 such journeys to ensure that their sacrifice was not in vain. Of that I have no doubt, Master Alphino. I only hope the fates will not hold you to your word. So it would seem we have the time to greet this scholar after all. How delightful. I shall be interested to hear how she means to go about finding Menphilia and Thancred. I can only assume she is privy to some new investigative technique. In any event, our first order of business is to rendezvous with Ishtola in Idleshire. Oh yeah, it's time for a Stream Raiders fight. There we go. Ah, it's good to see you. I confess I assumed your business in Anixtran would detain you longer. Did your meeting with Vodafnir go well? As well as can be expected, she must discuss Sir Americ's proposal with Rosprogara, of course. But she seemed amenable to the suggestion. What of our Charlene guest? Has she arrived yet? She has, but when I explained that you would be joining us, she asked if she might use the intervening time to explore. I agreed to meet her outside on Front Bridge. We should be on our way.
I'm terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
You need not apologize. We arrived but a moment ago ourselves. Pray, allow me to introduce Kryle, who has recently come from the Sharlayan motherland. She has generously offered to assist us.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. A trip to Eorzea was long overdue. You must be the Warrior of Light. Yes, you certainly do look the part. A pleasure to meet you at last, miss. And who is that I spy but young Alphino Levieux himself? I dare say someone's grown an ilm or two in my absence. Or are those lifts in your boots?
Miss Cryle and I met at the studium years ago. I shall forever be indebted to her for her sage guidance.
It was no small task keeping him out of trouble, believe you me. The youngest ever to enter the studium, him and his sister, 11-year-old prodigies. Suffice it to say, social graces were not among his list of talents. Striding up to his seniors on his first day, head held high. What was it he said again?
Thank you, Cryle.
For what? I haven't finished yet. Would you care to attempt a more dexterous deflection?
Mayhap we should save this delightful conversation for a more fitting occasion, when pressing matters do not demand our undivided attention.
A bit much, but better. I can tell you have been putting your skills to use here in Eorzea. Henceforth, I trust you will dazzle me with your eloquence at the first time of asking. Right, on to more pressing matters. Finding Minfilia and the other missing scions.
I gather you have new information to share with us.
A new approach, actually. Tataru recounted the tale of your escape, and it gave me an idea. Simply put, assuming Thancred left some manner of trail when you whisked him away, as is almost always the case with teleportation magics, I am confident I can find and follow it.
Then what are you waiting for?
The wherewithal to do it. The fact is, my abilities aren't quite up to the task. Not in themselves, anyway. If I had Master Matoya's crystal eye, on the other hand...
Then let us all call on her forthwith. I think it best that you explain your plan to her in person.
Ah, I'm stuck. Stuck. There we go. You did say we were headed for a cave, did you not? Because I certainly don't see a cave nearby. Is Master Montoya meeting us on the way or something? No, it's just hidden. The prospect of meeting the famous Master Montoya seems to have set Cryo thinking. I've heard many stories of Master Montoya, some quite flattering, others less so. Rest assured they are all are true this way, and have care where you tread.
Oh. Is that trouble I smell? Or did you forget to wipe your boots on the way in?
No, that's not nice.
Forgive us, Master Montoya. We will be sure to wipe them on the way out. And may I say how glad I am that age has not yet deprived you of your senses.
Ever so quick-witted, aren't we? To the detriment of your manners. Well, out with it then. What do you want?
Pray, allow me to introduce myself, Master Montoya. I am Cryle, of the students of Baldessian. I hope you will excuse our unannounced visit.
Baldessian, you say? Oh, yes. The old coot set up shop on the Isle of Val, didn't he?
Regrettably, our order's headquarters and the isle itself were obliterated by a magic of immense power. I have the blessing of light to thank for my own preservation.
Cryle, you too possess the Echo.
Well, yes, of course I do.
Oh.
Our order is devoted to uncovering the mysteries of Heidelin and interpreting her will, particularly through the study of her gift to us. It was in the course of these studies that I met and subsequently befriended Minfilia. She and I have rather a lot in common.
I had no idea.
You weren't supposed to. Not that I wanted to deceive you, you understand, but precautions had to be taken.
Yes, yes, that's all well and good, but you still haven't told me why you're here.
The students of Baldessian are gone, and there is naught I can do to change that. But the signs of the Seventh Dawn can yet be restored, and my dear friend found. You have in your possession an ancient crystal of light, one you call your crystal eye. I believe I can use it to focus my abilities and locate one of the missing scions.
And there I was, thinking you might want to make use of my years of experience. Oh, wait here.
Long did I ponder the nature of this crystal and its familiar radiance, but never did I suspect it was a crystal of light.
On the cusp of an umbral calamity, souls blessed with the power of the Echo invariably appear. To aid these, her chosen warriors, Hydaelyn bequeaths to each a slither of her strength in the form of a crystal of light. But as her strength wanes, so too does the potency of her gifts. This crystal, born of an earlier era, is infused with a power far greater than those of this age.
You could travel the length and breadth of the land and not find a crystal even a fraction as pure. Its value is beyond measure, as are the risks inherent in its use.
No two manifestations of the Echo are alike. I, for example, can converse with beings of every shape and size, excepting beasts, contrary to what others would have you believe. Language has nothing to do with it, of course. Rather, I am sensitive to the whispers of the soul. Their intent, their very essence even, the traces of which serve to guide the elementals to Y'shtola. Far-fetched though it may sound, I believe that with your crystal eye, I may be able to pick up where they left off and follow the remaining trail to Thancred. That is, if I have your permission.
Well, the poor sod's not going to find himself. So, as long as you don't drop it or take it out of my sight, you may do with it what you will.
Thank you, Master Matoya. Then let us begin. From the Black Shroud, the trail continues to the north and west, towards a mountain, the foot of Som Al. It was a near thing, but he was not deposited within the rock. I think.
You think?
The hunters of Tailfeather know those lands well. I say we begin our search there.
Tailfeather. Back to Tailfeather we go. I think we don't have very far to go. Were I to find myself in an unfamiliar wilderness, my first instinct would be to seek out signs of civilization. Ordinarily, perhaps, but in his wounded state, he may not have wished to risk contact with strangers of unknown allegiance. Yet, even had Thancred chosen to remain in the forest, the hunters would surely have stumbled across his trail. Tailfeather doesn't strike me as an isolated outpost, though. Merchants and traders pass through reasonably regularly, do they not? In which case, we'll need to provide a more detailed description when we question the locals. Fair enough, Crow. I have already prepared several sketches of Thancred for that very purpose. This is impressive. You drew him from memory. A skill I acquired some years ago for reasons I no longer remember. I propose we split into two pairs. Ishol and I will inquire at the outlying encampments while Illusion Crow will question the residents of Tailfeather. Afterwards, we shall regroup near Loth Astavath and share our findings. Assuming there are no objections, let us be about it. My, he certainly has matured, hasn't he? Hard to imagine he was once a boy who practiced drawing for hours to impress young ladies. Anyway, we best get started. Find me when you've finished making your rounds. Searching for a friend of yours? Let's have a look then. No, I ain't seen him around, sorry. Isn't as easy as it looks. Those birds are too clever by half. I've designed some new traps, though. Oh, actually, that's not what I wanted. Abandon that. I thought you were who I was wanting to talk to. I need to pay more attention. What's that you've got there? A sketch? Can't say I know the face. You say he's something of a warrior? I heard a tale the other day about a Yorn vagabond who brought down a Bandersnatch by himself, and with style. Why, I told it was dancing with the beast like it was the bell of the bleeding ball. Sound like your man? Yeah, it does, actually. As Huron Man, we're not exactly rare, you know. Could you be more specific? Yeah, here's a drawing. Take a look. Let me know what you think. Seen the guy? I did spy this one bloke a while back. Didn't get a good look at his face, but it could have been him. This was beyond the forest, as I recall, along the river to the west of Tailfeather. I remember thinking he wasn't much of a hunter. Lad was making no effort to cover his tracks. See that, and he was carrying an axe instead of a bow. Finished? In that case, I think we've learned everything we can here. Let's see what the others have found out. Need to pay more attention. My apologies for our late arrival. We thought it wise to quest as many hunters as we could. Many have made camp in inaccessible locations ideal for hunting game. Not so receiving visitors. Nevertheless, our time proved well spent. There have been countless sightings of an exceptionally capable Huron hunter, with whom no one is familiar. Though none chanced to see the man's face, his weight and build match Thancred's description, as does his fighting prowess. So you've heard the same tales. Be that as it may, we yet want for conclusive proof. Mayhap this is unrelated, but I heard a curious tale regarding a Vath trader. He came to Tailfeather in search of garments fit for a man of refinement, which seemed a rather curious description for one of his kind. You're implying that Thancred sent a Vath to market instead? Why would he not go himself? After all, yourself immersion in Lifestream as naked as your name day. It is a scene I shall never forget. Reminding her that probably shouldn't have happened. Was probably not in your best health interest. Well, I was pleased to see you. I mean, it was a simple statement of fact. Stands to reason that Thancred found himself in the same predicament. In any case, if he had dealings with the Vath, they should be able to tell us no? Quite right, Crow, quite right. Oh wait, why am I running away from the quest? What idiocy is this? I'd like very much to continue the search for Thancred. What are we waiting for? For all we know, Thancred will be waiting for us in Lost to Ask Vath. We must go and see the Vath right away. Come along, everyone. Come along. Great hunters, we welcome you once more to Lost Vath. What do you seek this day? We seek a man with whom we are told you may have had certain dealings. How curious, the hunters tire of godly sport and pursue mortal prey. No, he is not prey, but a friend long missing. Good, he is a friend to the Vath as well, one with whom we have traded many times. Truly, you are quite certain it was this man? There is no doubt. The flesh and clothes and skins came to us from Somal, lost and weak. We offered meat and hides in trade, and in exchange we tended his wounds. He brought us much flesh, so skilled a hunter he was, much flesh. When he asked for garments, we were glad to provide them. And where is he now? Gone to Lost Nath, not long ago when he heard the One Mind had summoned our god once more. Ravana has returned? Dopner did say that Nath had grown as before, but what could Thancred hope to accomplish by himself? Honored Elder, we thank you for your help that we could repay this kindness ere we depart, but we must hasten to our comrade's side. Go, great hunters, lest the Nath claim him as a sacrifice. Stuck. Oh wait, it's time for streamers fight. So let's see here. What would be good? Let's not tip over the nice drink. Come down, grab that blue chest down there. Go up there. Now, back to our main attraction of the night.
Who else could be? Thancred! It could be Thancred! We must hurry!
Well, that's definitely not Thancred.
This day, we reclaim the reins of history. This day, we rid ourselves of the Ascians forever!
Fools playing at heroes, all of you. Is this how you believe you can save your world?
We can and we will, Ascian. You shall see. Or perhaps you will not! So you are the warrior of light, the savior of Eorzea. It's a wonder you didn't come sooner, what with the primal and all. Lost a step, have we?
Have care. The ether moves strangely around him.
It would seem we share a common enemy. Mayhap you would tell us who you are.
Shall we show them?
Oh, there's Thancred.
Not very sporting of you to interrupt, but so be it. Mark well our faces, warrior of light, for we are the warriors of darkness. Walkers
I
of a
look forward to
different
it.
path, and we shall meet again.
Warriors of Darkness? Really?
Thancred! Are you all right?
Pleasantries can wait. I'd rather not be here when the Nath arrive. Agreed?
Suffice it to say, our reunion was not at all as I pictured it. Waiting until the last instant to join the fray. 'Tis plain you have not lost your appetite for the dramatic.
My appetite for the dramatic? Have you forgotten the circumstances of our parting? The heroic last stand, the tunnel filling with light, and then... Had I known you intended to use forbidden magics to deliver me to some god's forsaken wilderness, I would have thanked you in advance.
Thancred.
If nothing else, you might have warned me that I would emerge from the live stream in the altogether. Eventually, I managed to fashion knives from some obsidian I found, and set about hunting for meat and hides. Given that I'm not all that skilled in leatherworking, it's probably for the best that I met the Vath before I was reunited with you.
I love how that little like chipmunk's there blocking the view of everything.
So you were the fleshling clothed in skins of whom the storyteller spoke?
A description which fit me as ill as the skins themselves. Happily, I was able to trade with the Vath for garments better becoming a man of refinement. From them I learned of Ravana, and of the great warrior who had once laid him low.
And thence did you conclude that were you to track the Primal's movements, it would surely bring you into contact with the Scions once more.
It seemed a reasonable assumption. I could think of no one else with your enthusiasm for slaying beastmen gods. Until now, that is.
Ah, yes. The self-proclaimed warriors of darkness. 'Tis only fitting that they stand in opposition to the warrior of light, I suppose.
I glimpsed the leaders past, if only for a moment. They were confronting a man in black. An Ascian, I think.
If these warriors are capable of doing battle with Ascians and Primals both, they must be possessed of powerful protection. Protection not unlike the Echo.
Avno is lost in thought, doubtless ruminating on the implications of your encounter with the Warriors of Darkness. Blessed with the power of the Echo and driven to put down Primals despite his declaration that they walk a different path, I struggle to see how their goals conflict with ours. Nor is that the only oddity. I find it passing strange that such exceptional individuals should have wholly escaped our nose until now. Surely we would have heard rumors and attempt to recruit them to our cause. I recall no such adventurers, and I would not soon forget their like, nor would any of us, I think. One of our primary duties was to scour the city-states for promising candidates, which is how Edom Apollo found Illusion. Ah, the memories, it seems like only yesterday that you slew your first primal. Speaking of which, I had the distinct impression that it was not the first time that band of merry men and women had killed a god. I labor to believe that a band of preternaturally gifted adventurers had been traveling the land, slaying primals without our knowledge, would imply gross negligence on our part. Speculation will avail us not. There is far too much we do not know. For the present, we must needs concentrate on what we do now, namely that Lord Ravana is no more. Vidofnir must be informed. The news may render her more receptive to Sir Imeric's invitation. If you have need of me, I shall be with Master Matoya. I would beg your assistance with the search of Infilia. Wait, Infilia is missing? I thought she escaped with Illusion. I shall explain on the road. Much has happened in your absence. it up. Okay. I not thought to see thee again so soon, mortal. If thou seekest the night, know that she hath long since departed for Ishgard. My thanks, Vidofnir, but it was not for her that we came. We bring good tidings for you and yours, Lord Vrana, whom in some way the Nath has once again been laid low. Truly, once more, you mortals have succeeded where mine own kind did fail. You have our deepest thanks. Would that we could take credit. The god fell by another's hand. Another, revelation upon revelation, regardless, is cause for celebrations. Nath will have no choice but to withdraw. But to another matter, I have tidings for thee as well. Regarding the Ishgardian's invitation, as promised, I brought the matter to my sire. Hearken to his answer now. For 1,000 years have I mourned my beloved who gave her life to forge a peace thy king betrayed. Such was my lot until a child of Ishgard came unto me. For want of warmth she wrapped herself in a dream. Yet the world will remember her deeds. For truth she fought for justice. She sinned for redemption. She sacrificed and became as light. To follow one's heart, to have faith in one's conviction, be it for weal or be it for woe. Such is the folly and the glory of man and of dragon. He hath entrusted the choice to us, and we have made it. We will keep faith with you and who walk in the light. Then you accept Sir Imeric's invitation? Let it be known that I, Vidofnir, shall journey unto Ishgard on behalf of my people. We are honored to receive your answer, and will convey your words to our allies without delay. It is happening, Isel. Would that you were here to see it.
Even as the Scions celebrated the return of a long-lost friend, honorable men plotted to deprive them of another. Honorable men, to whom Sir Emeric was no hero, but a scheming patricide. Honorable men who would fain wash the paving stones of foundation with the tyrant's blood. Honorable men whose knife in the dark was the spark which set the city aflame, and who sang as it burned.
So back to the foundation. Oh, I once again wasn't paying attention because I was reading something. And past where I need to go. Right, let us not keep Sir Americ waiting. Are you quite well, Thancred? Yes, quite well. Forgive me. You have given me rather a lot to digest. This whole affair with the Ishgarians and the Dravanians and our friends, nowhere to be found. It would seem there was no end to our troubles. We can but face them head on, one at a time. For now we must apply ourselves to our allotted task and leave the others to theirs. Remember, Thancred, we found you as they found me. In time, we will find Ida and Papalmo and Menphilia as well. These troubles will soon be but a memory, one which we will look back on together. Pray do not misunderstand. I did not mean to imply that it would be otherwise. I merely wish that I had rejoined our grand adventure at one of its more triumphal moments. Despite your recent accomplishments, the mood here is less than celebratory. But I have no doubt that we will enjoy many more glorious victories soon enough, and you may rest assured that I will play my part in them to the very hilt. I know you well, so then to the congregation? Where am I at anyways in this? Oh, just built on 3.1. You have returned, and this at least the fates are kind. Greetings, first Commander. If it pleases me to inform you that Vodafnir has accepted Sir Imeric's invitation. She has. These are glad tidings indeed. Would that the Lord Commander were here to hear them. Is he otherwise engaged? Aye, sleeping off a knife to the gut. What happened? Will he live? The chirurgeons tell me he will make a full recovery, but had Lord Edmont and Lord Arturiel not been on hand when the assassin struck, he would not have been so fortunate. For mercy, they subdued the fiend before he could lend the telling blow. The attack was just beginning, though. Not long after, buildings all around the city, including several of ours, burst into flame. Bastards caught us completely by surprise. We've been dousing the fires, but for everyone we put out, it seems like 2 more start up. Calgias are mounting, especially in the Broom. 'Tis plain these fires were started by the assassins' conspirators. Until they've been rounded up, there will be no end to this. Will you help us find them? Yeah, damn right I will. Then let us be about it. Get in the hunt for the arsonist without delay. The flames are spreading. We must needs begin our investigation immediately. Witnesses must be found. Suspects must be identified. Have you been able to determine the precise locations where the fires were set? Mayhap there is a pattern. If there is, we have yet to discern it. Fires have been reported throughout the city, in both the pillars and the foundation. Indeed, given the size of the area affected, I think it best to divide our forces. Master Alphino, Mistress Y'shtola, I'd have you take charge of the investigation and foundation. As you wish. Mayhap Taru can be of assistance as well. Meaning Illusion and me get the pillars. Oh, they'll like me up there. Only question is, will the grizzled old rogue striking a pose over there be joining us? Thank her to the signs of 7th Dawn, and may I say what a pleasure it is to meet you too, my lady. I'll bet the name's Hilda Asayane, and there I was thinking I'd found a fellow ruffian amongst all these illustrious personages. I will remain here to coordinate the fire-quenching effort. If you learn aught of value, pray inform me immediately. That is all. Well, we could begin by sifting through the charred rubble and questing random passerbys. In my experience, every town has at least one individual who can be counted on to know things he or she should not. Oh, aye, the infamous Lord Emily de Fratom's lover of women and wine. Though neither care for him that much. They say he would gossip for Ishgard. Just our fellow had in mind. Capital suggestion. He'll be at the Crozier most like, making an effort to be seen. So let's go and see him. Well, while I'm making my way there, let's go over here to Stream Raiders. We'll go ahead and start that battle. I need to get a lot of assists. So let's see, in order to get a lot of assists, we'll throw that down. Well, well, if it is an illusion, dearest of all my friends, you're looking rather glum. Something the matter? Ah, yes, the arson's dreadful business, that, and awfully curious. When you say, there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it at all. Naturally, we've doubled the guard outside the manor, along with the most of the other houses. Can't have the old pile going up in flames, after all. Oh, in case you were wondering why the Hoplon is washed with refugees, the lower levels of the vault have been owned to those unfortunate souls who have lost their homes. Sir Merrick's orders, from what I hear. Remarkable man. Not even a knife in the ribs can keep him from his duties. Actually, if you were thinking of questioning the refugees, I should be more than happy to accompany you to the Hoplon. While you conduct your inquiries, I could offer more words of comfort to distressed and despondent young maidens. Why would I help you schlep around? Wait a moment, I know what that is. You're giving me one of your looks, aren't you? You do me an injustice. I will have you know my heart yearns for but one rose, prickly though she may be. I sense you remain unconvinced. Very well. If it will help to prove the purity of my intentions, I shall gracefully rescind my offer. Now run along and catch those arsonists. That was not entirely what I'd hoped for. Whose idea was it to come here again? Never mind. For our next step, I suggest we divide our efforts. While you question the refugees in the Hoplon, I shall investigate the locations where the fires were set. Would you be so good as to join me, Hilda? You know what? I reckon I would. You can't have you roaming about in an unfamiliar city by your lonesome, can we? You'd only get robbed blind and left shivering in your small clothes. Ours was one of the first homes we claimed, but I didn't see how the fire began. It was only when I heard our neighbors shouting that I looked outside and saw the flames. We barely escaped with the clothes on our backs, but not for the church's generosity. I don't know what we'd do. Hey, Galeth, how are you? Come, my brothers and sisters, there is food and shelter enough for all in the Basilica. Alone's blessing be upon you, Father. I confess we were not sure if we should come. There are so many unbelievable tales these days about the Archbishop and Sir Imeric and the Dravanians. I'm doing pretty good. It's been a pretty good week for me, I think. Trust in your heart, brother, and pay no heed to the lies of lesser men. They seek only to lead you astray. Do you require succor as well, miss? So, the Temple Knights have begun their investigation at last. Good, this madness has gone on far too long. Would that I could do something to aid you in your search, but I have a duty to these poor souls. Farewell, and may the Fury guide your steps. Yeah, you aren't suspicious at all. I think this was another one of those. I think a lot of these chapters I skipped because I really didn't much care for the heavensward storyline when I played through this originally on my main. Well, my main, or what then later became my current main. So this is technically like the third time I'm playing through heavensward. There was a man with a satchel. I saw him kneeling outside the window, and then there was smoke everywhere, and it was so hot, and I couldn't breathe. I don't remember how I made it out. I suppose I must have climbed. Maybe my armor's getting better after all. Run through the fountain just a wee bit there, because I'm not paying the greatest of attention to where I'm going. Ah, there you are. Anything to share? We require more than the muddled testimony of a traumatized girl if we are to identify the culprits. While you were questioning the refugees, we inspected the scenes of several of the fires, including one near St. Raymond's Cathedral and another near the tribunal firm. For our mercy, neither structure suffered significant damage. Some might say they were spared by the grace of the Fury. Others might question how such ruthlessly efficient arsonists contrived to fail so miserably on the two occasions when their target was a bastion of Ishgardian orthodoxy. Nothing conclusive, of course, but it does give one cause to wonder. Alphino will doubtless have an opinion. And doesn't Alphino have an opinion? I mean, seriously. And how often is it necessarily a interesting opinion? Honestly, I'd have to say I much prefer Alice. She generally is far more interesting. But she's also a lot more rash and hot-headed than Alphino, which kind of is what lends her that interesting quality. Silence will avail you not, sir. I was just about to summon you. As you can see, we have detained a suspect. We found this man loitering near the remains of one of the stricken buildings. According to the eyewitnesses, he was also present before the fires broke out. We wished to have words. He did not, so we insisted. Let me go, damn it. You've got the wrong man. Well, then you may have information leading us to the right person. My, but you reek of oil. You know those burns on your hands? An occupational hazard, I suppose, but tell me, does arson pay well? I'm a victim, you imbecile. Look at me. Ah, that you are, after a fashion. You should know that your pious patron has already spun us a delightful yarn about how his pet mongrel slipped the leash and set about burning half the city to the ground. Not very noble of him, I grant you. But then these highborn types really do show loyalty to their pets. If I could speak today. In fact, he called you Rabbit and begged us to put you down. That's bollocks. He's the one who told me to keep going. Well, that's where you go, shit. I just gave myself up. Even a sinner such as me could find salvation in the Fury's work, he said. I'd left it behind, tried to, with all my heart. He said my prayers every day like a good man, but he came to me. He came to me. And there you have it, Hilda. Would you be so kind as to escort our friend here to the congregation? Aye, as long as you don't mind if he's limping when he gets there. That was incredible, Tancred, but how did you know he would confess? Well, I've seen his like before, a troubled soul manipulated by men of power and yielded as a weapon. I could not be certain, of course, but given the stakes, I thought it worth the risk. And our captive had called your bluff? Must we entertain hypotheticals? The world as it is vexing enough. Thank you, Thancred. Whether by luck or judgment, we have at least last confirmed that these arsons were orchestrated by a person or persons of influence. I think it best that we now return to the congregation and discuss how best to proceed. Yeah, I mean, it's been a really great week. I mean, views are well up there with on YouTube. We've had people showing up here and there. Won that on Stream Raiders, and work's been good. A little busier than I'd prefer, but that's to be expected coming off the holidays. On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, I thank you all. The man you apprehended is being interrogated as we speak. Though he fell silent upon realizing that we had not turned his master, he will soon tell us what he knows one way or another. Pardon the intrusion, First Commander. Ah, Lord Arturiel, are you come to see your father? He is attending Sir Americ in his chambers at present. I am. He bid me bring this salve. Then do not let me detain you, and thank you for your kindness, my lord. In times of trouble, every man must do his part. Would that I could do more. My lord Arturiel did not seem to be in the best of spirits. 'Tis little wonder Master Alphino, his father, is widely slandered, and his half-brother not yet cold in the grave. Those may be better than whatever I've got on. Well, they're better than some of what I got on.
I do not mean to diminish our accomplishments, but until we identify the ones who ordered the fires set, our work is far from finished.
Between the various conservative and religious factions in Ishgard, I dare say there's no shortage of parties who would like to see the status quo preserved. Do any likely suspects spring to mind?
Far too many to count.
Lord Commander, your wounds.
Are healing well. Thank you. Time is of the essence. Lest we forget, these men would sooner put their own city to the torch than see it change. When our enemies learn that we have apprehended their arsonist, there is no telling how they will react.
Not well, I'll predict that.
Lord Commander, an armed mob has seized control of the vault.
And now we know. Tell us what happened, sir. Spare no detail.
We were directing refugees into the Basilica, as you ordered, when all of a sudden, men brandishing weapons were all around us. It happened so fast, my lord. We had no time to respond. They've taken the refugees hostage and barricaded themselves inside the vault.
Well, then we need to do something about that.
And they sent you to deliver their demands.
They, the true brothers of the faith, demand that a conclave to select the next archbishop be held forthwith. Furthermore, they declare that you, Lord Commander, are guilty of patricide and high treason, and that you must surrender yourself at once to receive of the Fury's judgment.
Is that so?
Ridiculous! I mean, do they honestly think that executing Sir Emmerich would change anything? that the truth will somehow die with him.
These fundamentalists rage against the passing of the old ways, unable to accept there can be no going back.
Given the fanciful nature of their demands, a peaceful resolution does not seem likely. If the hostages are to be rescued, it will be by force, I fear.
Agreed. Lucia, take a contingent of knights and establish a perimeter outside the entrance.
At once, Lord Commander.
Hilda, I need your people out in force throughout the Broom. When word spreads of the situation, the friends and family of the hostages may try to take matters into their own hands. I will not give these militants more targets.
Smart.
I shall lead the assault on the vault. Master Alphino, can I count on the support of the Scions?
Of course.
We are in your debt.
I shall join you as well, Lord Commander.
Your assistance is most welcome, Lord Atwarel. To arms, then, friends. Time is against us.
Let's see. We're going to the pillars, so... No, not that one. Gold Crozier might be the better of the... Listen well, we will enter the Basilica silently via this gate. According to our latest reports, there are at least 6 hostages being held within. Numbers and randomness of the true brothers of faith are unknown. I am told one claimed to have served under Thoradin the Seventh. Might the same be true of the rest? Given the swiftness with which they seize control of the vault, I think it highly likely yes, which means that they may well possess the knowledge required to turn the building's defenses against us. Be that as it may, we have no choice but to press on. Lord Artorial, you are a brave man and true, and none would dare question your honor. If you choose not to risk your life in this endeavor, are you certain you wish to join us? I am no stranger to the battlefield, Sir Imeric. My arm will not falter, my shield will not break. Alone as my witness, we will bring these fanatics to justice. Well said, my lord. Friends, follow me. I am not optimized on this class whatsoever. If anyone knows Gunbreaker and cares to give me some tips if they're watching, please, by all means, please do. I have not a clue what I'm doing.
Down with you!
Get the hell out of here.
You underestimate me!
There we go, there we go. Moving along, saving hostages. Lay down your arms and release the hostages, and you will be shown mercy. I give you my word. Ah, the word of a heretic and kinslayer. I would sooner trust a dragon. Activate the knights. We shall show the hostages the same mercy he showed the archbishop. Unlike you, Sir Imeric, I am a man of honor. By my hand you shall receive of the Fury's judgment. So does be a trial then, Lord Arturiel. Leave us and save the hostages. I will deal with Sir Simeonard. Excuse me. Oh no, we're off the map. Oh, I had bonds I had to go untie, and I didn't do that. Now I gotta run all the way back over there. That was dumb of me. Where the hell's the last one? Seriously? If I just maybe I would pay attention, I could have gotten to there and been up here faster.
This knight does not yield!
Well, let's save more people.
Where is he? Where is he?
Come no closer!
You're really going to do that? I mean, you're supposed to be a priest. You're supposed to help people, not throw them off the side of a building.
You have nowhere to run. Release the girl and surrender.
Surrender to whom? The blasphemer who throws wide the gates to our enemy? Who breaks bread with him and calls him brother? Ungodly swine! I would sooner die than surrender to you.
Is it godly to spill the blood of an innocent child? To burn the homes of your brothers? Tell me, priest, is that godly?
not speak to me of godliness, heathen! Your father's blood is on your hands, as is hers!
Whose? Who's the her? Looks like his mind just broke there. But, please, dragon, somewhere, something, save the girl, please. Someone jump off the side of the building. No, 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 please, please, no, 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 no. Ishtola, do your thing. Come on. Make a slide of ice or something. Oh, good. Dragon came in and saved the day. At least someone did.
What? But I...
Vidafne!
Well met, knight. Mayhap I chose an inopportune moment?
Not at all. Pray forgive us this most unworthy reception. We are honored to have you with us, and right glad of your aid.
Fortune delivered the child unto me. I had but to receive her.
Thank you for saving me.
But I'm still scared of you. You're this big,
Thou art welcome,
big lizard
child.
thing with nasty-looking teeth that I fear wants to eat me.
Never did I think to be indebted to so unexpected a savior. But full glad am I to be so.
Friend of Izel, warrior of warriors, I had hoped to meet with thee. I bear a message from my sire.
From Freysfelder.
Upon returning to our lands, Nidhogg's shade did sing unto his brood, and they for skies unknown did then take wing. This thou must know, for your fates are inextricably bound.
What of Estinian? Is he truly lost to us?
Such matters are beyond my ken. I but bear my father's words. Take from them what thou wilt. Fare you well, mortals.
So it is as they say then. A great white dragon swooped down from the heavens to rescue an innocent child.
A most unexpected turn of events, but not an unwelcome one. The people will not soon forget this day.
Yet how will they choose to remember it, Sir Emmerich? And will these events serve to bring man and dragon closer together, or drive a deeper wedge between brothers? After 1,000 years, the world these men once knew is changing, and with ungentle swiftness to boot. Though their actions are misguided, their sentiments are only to be expected. You may be sure that others will rally to their cause. I share your desire for a lasting peace with the Dravanians, I do. But I would not see it built on the bones of our countrymen, nor on our own. I see much of Horsefort in you, and I could not bear to mourn the passing of another son.
Lord Edmund.
Okay. This has been a day of surprises, has it not? 'Tis but a pity Vodafnir could not stay longer. Yes, I think it's fair to say that she timed her departure rather less well than her arrival. Well, time scarcely does it justice, but 1 moment later would have been a moment too late. Let us pray that the Ishgarians who yet harbor doubts will take these events to heart and accept the truth of Sir Imeric's words. Well, 'tis only meet that I inform Tataru of what has occurred here. If you have need of me, I shall be at Fort Tom's Manor. Allow me to accompany you. Tataru would never forgive me if I left the Rising Stones without saying goodbye. Moment, I wish a word? Tell me, does Thancred seem quite well to you? Yeah, I'm well enough with Hilda trying to hit on her the way he did. Of that I have no doubt. His time in the wilderness did not deprive him of his charm. Well, that is neither here nor there. What concerns me is his etheric flow, which I fear has been irreparably disrupted. As a result, I strongly suspect that his ability to manipulate ether has been compromised. Simply put, Thancred may no longer be able to yield magics. It would do much to explain why he chose to remain within the wilderness instead of seeking us out. He would have been compelled to rely solely on traditional methods of travel, significantly prolonging his journey, and when he learned that nearby Beastrat was making preparations to summon a primal, it may well have seemed more sensible to wait. This is still a little more than speculation. Until I have proof, pray speak no word of it. Right then, I should be on my way. Krau may have charmed Master Matoya for now, but who can say how long it will last? Let me in! Let me in!
That Vidofnir should chance to arrive even as the girl fell. Truly, I could not have planned it better myself.
Ah, good. We were afraid you might have left.
A shield, my lord?
Fit for a true knight. An expression of our gratitude to you and yours, long overdue. But there is something else I would discuss ere you part. Something which cannot leave this room. My father will soon step down as head of our house. Sir Emmerich was not the only one to fall under suspicion following the death of the Archbishop. There are some who believe my father complicit in a coup d'etat. Thus he intends to renounce his title to absolve our house of suspicion and secure the support of our peers.
Surely there must be another way to convince houses Durandare and Zemail.
So I said to him. Alas, he will not budge. Ever since I was a child, I knew that I would one day succeed my father. The thought of it filled me with pride. Yet once I learned the day was at hand, my heart was filled with naught but dread. Our legacy is built upon the lies of our forefathers. In accepting this title, am I not perpetuating this injustice? Why should I become the next count? You sound just like him. Aye, I suspect that is what Horchefon would have said. To aid those in need. When you look on that shield, I trust you will remember his words. And should I once more find my resolve wavering, I ask that you show me the way. You are a sister to Horchefon. Will you be a sister to me as well?
No, we'll certainly try to be.
Come, Manelaine. There's much to be done. For father, and for Sir Emmerich, and
Best
for
we can be.
Ishgard. To think we share the same blood. Pray excuse us.
And what if I don't want to?
Those were the days of promises and vows, of tentative first steps into an uncertain future. A future shaped by the choices we made
I don't know why I'm yawning so
in
much.
ways we could never have foreseen. Born of good and evil, of light and darkness, and shepherded by our hand. Be it for weal, or be it for woe.
what are my options here for rewards? Casting, healing, aiming. We'll take aiming. But that would be the end of 3.1, so now we're going to start into 3.2. This is thy proof? The Garum Oracles? Apocrypha? It is a truth long forgotten, a tale of the beginning and of the path we have been set upon. Our fates were ordained long ago, Archon. The Garleans are no exception, nor the Trad. You know what must be done. Too slow there, Warrior of Darkness. Too slow. Well, everyone has their orders. The mass will attack as soon as all units are in position. The Imperials won't know what hit them. I fear it will be bloody. By Rogar, it had better be. That is an odd camera angle for that. We cannot stay here forever, Ida. We have other responsibilities. I know full well what my responsibilities are, and I mean to fulfill them, every one.